Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's second video, doing the extended European outlook for today's second video. So as always on a Tuesday, we're having a look at the weather for the next 30/42 days across the UK and the rest of Europe as well. This is the extended European outlook. I should get over that for you in a moment. Just say that first, a video release there was our 6 a.m. UK weather forecast, and I've got a 10 to 14 day coming up for you later on today as well. Please like, share and subscribe on all of today's videos and content, and thank you so much everybody for doing that for GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much. Okay, going to start off with the situation across Europe this week. This has been sea level pressure anomaly for Europe for week 1, which is the 18th to the 25th of March. So we see low pressure dominating across the north and west of Europe with a ridge out in the Atlantic. Low pressure also pushing through to the eastern side of Europe as well. There's some low pressure down towards Spain and some higher pressure lurking up towards the far west and northwest of Russia. 500 millibar heights looking like that. Below average heights to the north, above average heights again to south, and winds coming in from a westerly direction once more. High pressure is again across western parts of Russia there. So temperature anomalies for the coming week: above average in many areas, a mild average week to come. Away from the far west and northwest, Ireland and Portugal, UK, etc. Right way over into west of Russia as well. Above average temperatures quite widely across Europe. A couple of exceptions, slightly cooler through eastern and southern parts of Scandinavia and Norway, closer to average temperatures there. And perhaps a little bit more notably so over on the extreme eastern side of the Mediterranean. So particularly going towards Turkey, looking a little bit cooler through there. But otherwise it's another very mild week to come. Temperature anomalies widely sort of 3 to 6 degrees above average. 1 or 2 areas like southern Spain, northern Africa, going even higher than that, but 10 degrees above normal. Widely above average again through Germany, some parts of France, and down in towards Italy and the Balkans as well. And that carries on into far east of Europe, including the Baltic Sea states of Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania. In the far west, it's not quite, well, the far northwest, not quite as mild there. So still slightly above average for Scotland and Ireland, but, you know, a little bit closer to normal anyway. Otherwise, very mild scene. And precipitation-wise, so quite a bit of variation from area to area. Wetter than average again for much of Ireland and the UK. That wet weather extending in towards the Low Countries, Belgium, Holland, Netherlands, into some parts of Scandinavia, particularly Denmark, and northern Germany as well. Also around the Baltic Sea states and down into Belarus and Ukraine, we see there that so we have some above average precipitation. Looking quite wet into eastern and southern parts of France and Germany as well. However, to the west of that, sort of western France, down Spain, Portugal, mostly drier than north there. The central bowl of the Med is coming out drier than average, and the southeastern corner is coming out drier than average as well, including Greece and Turkey. Generally, it's wetter to the north and drier to the south, with some exceptions. Week 2 will be the 25th of March to the 1st of April. Looking very unsettled across Western Europe there, with deep low pressure through the western portion of Europe, and that low pressure looks like it's extending towards some central and eastern regions as well. 500 millibar heights again, but deep trough of low pressure. Look at this across much of Western Europe again. Higher pressure is slipping away more towards the eastern side of Europe there. Temperature anomalies into week 2, cooling down in the west of Europe. So the Atlantic getting quite chilly actually, something we haven't seen very often with such a warm North Atlantic at the moment. But generally below average temperature beginning to appear across the west side of Europe. So this does include like Scandinavia, Norway, Sweden, the central northern areas of Sweden. The UK and Ireland going a little bit cooler than average, but that's a change. And also we see France becoming a little bit cooler than average, as well as Spain and Portugal. And even into the far southwest of Germany and some of the Low Countries, start to see the temperatures cooling down slightly. But warm is being shoved over onto the eastern side of Europe. So the warmest anomalous to average are actually around here, which is like Western Russia, Eastern Ukraine, and just into Belarus. And there we're like 3 to 6 degrees above average, but widely 1 to 3 degrees above average across northern and also eastern parts of Europe. Down into the Med, an east-west split. Again, could have been an average through Spain, Portugal. A little bit above average through Balearic Islands, but it gets milder or warmer as we get to Italy and over towards Greece and Turkey. Precipitation-wise, for week 2, they're looking very unsettled across western portions of Europe. Again, this does include Ireland, the UK, France, Spain, Portugal, and into the central bowl of the Med towards Italy. Above average rainfall, indicating either heavy persistent rain, probably for northern Europe, and for southern parts of Europe, probably big thunderstorms. Going in towards Germany and Poland, a little bit drier than average there. And up towards Norway, a little bit drier through there too. And then the far eastern side of Europe is coming out rather on the wetter than average side. Week 3 will be the 1st to the 8th of April. Low pressure remaining across some west and southwest parts of Europe. Higher pressure perhaps building more towards the far north and northeast there. 500 millibar heights on. Sorry, I believe 500 millibar heights, again, with above average heights building across northern, central, and eastern Europe, below average heights out in the Atlantic. Temperature anomalies start to become milder. So that cooler week through the last week of March is quickly eradicated again by above average temperatures returning to most parts of Europe as we go through into week 3. Spain, Portugal still closer to normal. Core of the warmth is like through central portions of Europe, really. But many areas coming out with above average temperature anomalies there for the first week of April. Precipitation-wise, so still looking rather on the wet side into France, Spain, Portugal. Drier than average in the far north and east and northeast. Weakening signal, of course, as we're going further out. Week 4 will be the 8th through to the 15th of April. High pressure then setting up to the north of UK and Ireland, so around Iceland and towards Greenland, that's sort of northern blocking, which could start to bring some colder air down from the north into northern and western Europe. Low pressure will be through here. The 500 millibar height anomaly is looking like that, above average heights again through there. Low pressure is in the Atlantic. Temperature anomalies generally above average, but maybe start to show a little bit of a cool down across the far north of Europe and possibly some western portions of Europe. It's still a bit above average, but possibly things just lowering again with temperature there through the second week of April. The core of the warmth now is like across southern, eastern and southeastern parts of Europe through there. And as far as precipitation is concerned, so it's becoming drier than average across the far north and northwest Europe. That's a change. Drier than average through there. Otherwise, a weakening signal. Right, that's your 30-day look ahead done. But let's go through weeks 5 and 6 data before we go. So week 5 will be the 15th, 26th of April. Very weak signal of mean sea pressure and only a bit of high pressure towards Scandinavia. Some low pressure is out in the Atlantic. And 500 millibar height showing a ridge through the north and the west of Europe there. As far as temperatures are concerned, anomalies, so they're above average quite wide across much of Europe, and precipitation, very weak signal. Finally, week 6 will be the 22nd, 29th of April. Lower pressure then out in the Atlantic, higher pressure retreats to the far north of Scandinavia and over on the eastern side of Europe. 500 millibar heights have like a blocking signal up to the north. And temperature anomaly, so close to average, a little bit above in the west, perhaps a bit of a cooling trend really as we go in the second half of April, but not cold. And precipitation, not much signal, but perhaps a hint of things get a bit more unsettled again in the north and west of Europe. In all, it's rather patchy, I have to say, by the time we get through the weeks 4, 5, and 6, as usual. So no, that's in the lap of the weather gods, if you like. Okay, that's your 30-day look ahead. Remember, any forecast beyond 5-7 days comes with big health warnings, large pinches of salt attached. So, just that's how it looks today, but it could change. It could look different when we look at this again on Saturday with the UK and Ireland focus, or next Tuesday for the extended European outlook. We're going to be back a little bit later on with your 10 to 14 there, which will, of course, as always, include all our reg features, so come back for that a little bit later. But for the extended EC 30-day look ahead for Europe, that's all now, and thanks so much.